don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
And you know something, you know, but you don't want to say it out loud because you're kind of afraid that it's not going to be really true and it'll spoil the whole thing for you, you know. But when somebody makes you say it, then, and it's true, then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
Break down. Got lots of love. Got lots of love. 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 Love.
Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beat tight.
Welcome back, everybody, to more CGL Season 13 coverage. My name is Bowsy. I'm joined here by Dexatron on the cast. And tonight, Dexatron, it's time for two of the top teams in the Open Division for North America to face off against each other.
Absolutely. We got a great matchup here with 1040 Tax Form going up against HIVEMIND. Like you said, two of the top teams here. Two of the three teams that are tied for first right now in this one division here in the NA tier. So one of them will make sure they, keep themselves in that spot for first place.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be a battle between these two teams, both of which also were able to play in our mid-season tournament just last week, although they didn't get very far. HIVEMIND were eliminated in the first round, but 1040 Tax Form were able to make it to the semifinals, where they were also eliminated, but they did lose to both of the winners, so there is some merit there between both of these teams getting to that state and at all in the mid-season tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it was 1040 Tax Form that lost to, I believe it was Last Dinosaur, and other way around. HIVEMIND lost to Last Dinosaur, and 1040 Tax Form lost to Nexus there in that semifinals matchup. So, I mean, both these teams really good coming into this one here, but still looking to kind of put themselves ahead here, especially as we start to wind down here in the season.
Yeah, definitely. The end of the season is quickly approaching, and both of these teams obviously wanting to try and make a deep run into the playoffs here. So we'll see if they're going to be able to do that, especially with 1040 Tax Form having such a talented lineup behind them, including Petal, very well-known contenders player. You also have Kashir, Puggo, Crow, and Uber Eats, better known as Ishtar. So a lot of talent on this roster here, Dexatron, and they're trying to make an impact here to try and continue their rise above the standings.
Absolutely, and this is a deep team as well. I mean, you talk about these starting five here. They also have, it looks like, to be 3 or 4 subs on their bench right now. So we could see some roster changes throughout this series here tonight, and that's always something I like to see out of these teams. Some depth. Sometimes you need to bring a player out if they're having an off night, or sometimes there's a certain player that's a little bit better at a certain play style. But speaking of that, why don't we introduce you to their opponents tonight in HIVEMIND. Again, another great team here. Rakuna and Juven are your DPS line. Adrian is your tank. Seaborn and Juzu on your support line here. Bowsy, I mean, this HIVEMIND team, we know how good they are, but what are they really?
Yeah, we'll have to see what this HIVEMIND is capable of with this roster. We'll see if they're going to be able to step up against some of the talented names on 1040 Tax Form who have been around the Overwatch scene, or at least the top of the Overwatch scene, for a long time. So it's going to be a challenge, but hopefully HIVEMIND is going to be able to negate the doubters and fill out their taxes, or even tax evade like Yoshi would, and be able to take it to the advantage in their own here. As we're going to be taking a look at our map set here. Of course, it is a predetermined map set. We'll start off on Oasis before heading to Paraíso, then New Junk City, and if necessary, New Queen Street and Circuit Royale are on the docket here, Dexatron. So a lot of different styles. However, the styles may not matter considering what style has been prevalent in the recent days that the new patch has come out.
I mean, yeah, that you bring up a really good point right there, especially in the NA. If you watched OWCS today at all, you saw it. It was that Malga comp here a little bit. But if you watched EU and even some of the Pacific, the Korea, the Japan, you didn't necessarily see a lot of the Malga there. And this is at this point right now where you really have to consider, have these teams practice it enough that they're confident enough to run out on it here? Because I have the feeling if you're just going to run out on it here because everyone else kind of is, you're going to get kind of ran over by those teams that are just kind of sticking to their guns with the comps they are completely comfortable with.
Yeah, while Malga is very powerful, an uncoordinated Malga composition is not going to win versus a coordinated composition of any other type. So it's all about trying to do that. We've seen Orisa be able to counter Malga. We've seen some Zarya as well being able to get rid of this Hawaiian force that has been terrorizing the top level of Overwatch. Please, Blizzard, put in a hot fix. Nonetheless, it's going to be interesting to see what these two teams are going to do if we see that Malga, if these two teams are comfortable on that Malga composition, and if they're going to try to use it to their advantage here, Dexatron, because we've seen how powerful this composition can be. It can truly be a force to be reckoned with when in the right hands.
Yeah, absolutely. But, we head to a control map here first, and you always have to say, you can run a whole bunch of different comps on Control. That's what Control is best known for. That's why you normally see it as that first map in every series. It allows teams to kind of warm up into the series, especially if you have a team that didn't warm up beforehand here. But I mean, yeah, even with a very, very strong dominant comp right now, you could still just see a bunch of people bring that out here. I don't really feel like we had this conversation before we went live. Like, if we see it, it's gonna have to be a team that's been practicing this for a while, because the Malcolm comp only really became a thing in these last 2 days, which means maybe you have 1 or 2 scrims on it.
Yeah, definitely. And there's also the factor of trying to choose different DPS. You could choose different DPS to try and run with this composition. Reaper, Sojourn, Symmetra, Sombra, they've all been considered possible DPS to run here with these sort of compositions. So it's all going to be a matter of what these teams want to prefer, what they think is going to be the right solution, and how they're going to be taking advantage of it right now as we see the two teams loading in to Oasis University, which is the most brawly of these two maps here, Dexatron, and we're already seeing those DPS develop for both sides. I do not imagine Joven will be running on out on that Symmetra.
Yeah, well, you could potentially see it. I mean, Symmetra has been going well with this Malga at the moment, but right now what you're seeing from 1040 Tax Form, this is kind of what we've been seeing a lot in OWCS today. The same DPS line, able to do so much.
Yeah, the same DPS from 1040 Tax Form, and already they're able to get that burn off onto a Dren. Kashi getting that first kill here to start off the engage here, and that's another kill for that Malga as well, as 1040 Tax Form immediately clean up the point, and they'll be taking the cap for their own.
And here's the thing, you're immediately seeing some swaps from HIVEMIND here. If you're going to run out on something a little bit different, you need to be able to find the value with it immediately. They found no value, and they now go to the mirror here instead. And this might be just kind of a preview of what we'll see the rest of this night here. But now 1040 has this early lead, and they have control, which is the more important thing.
Control in the favor of 1040 is HIVEMIND looking for the opportunity to push in here. So far, just waiting for the engage. The cardiac overdrive used here by both Malgas as they try to keep themselves alive. But once again, Adren is brought down here by the hands of Crow on this Lucio. And now without that Malga, HIVEMIND are just forced to full-scale reset and get back to the spawn door as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, Overwatch 2, if you lose your tank early on, you're basically backing out if you have the opportunity to, and that's what they did there. They also lose Seaborn, but, I mean, you're already falling back to wait for your tank to come back. One more person there is not necessarily a big deal, but now 1040 Tax Form coming up on that EMP, and, I mean, Petal could use this very early and still potentially even build up to another EMP by the time Adrian gets their own cage fight.
Here comes the engage from 1040 Tax Form with that overdrive. 3-man EMP landed here by Petal. Seaborn answers back with the Coalescence. Now both Coalescences pop from either team as now 1040 Tax Form have done their business. They're going to be backing up a little bit, but now here comes the beat from Juzu, and the EMP from Juven shuts out that cage fight, and 1040 Tax Form starts falling by the wayside.
Yeah, and, you know, that's something we've been seeing a lot today. The EMP, just to cancel out that cage fight, comes in perfectly, completely negates it, and you see what happens right after that. Everyone for the Tax Form there starts falling like dominoes. HIVEMIND now in a very good spot. They have their own cage fight. Petal nowhere near an EMP, but you do have to watch out for Puggo's Death Blossom here. We have seen that been actually a good counter to a cage fight today.
Cage fight used here from Adren. Raccoona answers back with their own Death Blossom. Now Puggo's Death Blossom doesn't find anything, so both of those Reapers just spinning into the abyss, getting nothing for their value. But Adren is forced to back up, very low on health, has to retreat to the safety of their Moira and Lucio to keep themselves alive. Now the cardiac overdrive pop, but it's a 5-man EMP from Petal this time. 2 more members, it's him and all the members of HIVEMIND now falling by the wayside.
Yeah, absolutely a great take back here for 1040 Tax Form and Petal, the 5-man EMP. I mean, you get that, you know you're winning the fight there no matter what. Now, I mean, 1040 Tax Form, you only have to win about a fight here, and then HIVEMIND might be forced to make some swaps to just try to get touches, but you see Juven coming up on an EMP that was so clutch for them last time. Seaborn, though, has the Coalescence ready to go. I would not be surprised if they use it early here to try to get their team through the choke.
HIVEMIND waiting in the choke. Most likely that Coalescence will be the engage, as you said. Here comes the Coalescence from Seaborn, answered back with Protoss, as now HIVEMIND still trying to find their way to the point, but so far they're just waiting for the perfect opportunity to push forward. That ticker continuing to tick as now the beat used from Juzo. EMP from Juven once again cancels out the cage fight, and Kashi is not long for this world, but now Juven can't get out themselves. They're killed out by Protoss. 1040 Tax Form have an opportunity to stabilize, and here comes the Death Blossom from Puggo, eliminating Adren on the spot. Raccoona trying to build up their own, but now they have no support alongside them. They still pop the Death Blossom, however, and they found 3. Rakuna bringing this back here on the Reaper, and all of a sudden it's Proto trying to stall it out here on the Moira, but it will eventually be fed to the Reaper as HIVEMIND take this point back for their own.
And Proto, I mean, they had the fade to get out of there. I don't know why they decided to stay on point. They could have regrouped their team, but now their team has to wait for them to respawn here. Just a little bit of a misplay from them early on here, but I mean, you come into this next fight here, there's really no ultimates ready to go, so this is going to be a pretty dry fight here. You're looking for a hack from one of these Sombras here to really open something up. You're looking for maybe the hack onto a support, but honestly, they're probably going to be focusing hard on the Malgas.
The Sombra hacks could be the deterrence, but that Mauga could also make a difference as now Kashi goes into this small room. Adrian follows them. Intel using that cardiac overdrive as now the coalescence from Seaborn burning down the members, and Petal, caught off on a whim, gets hit with a virus and is sent back to spawn along with the rest of 1040 tax form.
Yeah, and for the cost of just your coalescence, I mean, you'll take that every time if you're HIVEMIND here. And if HIVEMIND, they're in a really great spot. Look at this right now. They have the cage fight. They're going to be here to an EMP, a beat here very soon. And Rakuna going to have their own death blossom. They're in a really good spot here to finish out this map.
Proto, however, is going to initiate here with the coalescence. Here comes the cage fight from Adrian to lock the Malga in place. Kashi just barely alive with the coalescence and cardiac overdrive, keeping them up. The beat from Juzu is hit, but it doesn't catch on a Juven in time to keep them alive. They're killed out by the skill orb. Now the beat from Crow is initiated as 1040 tax form make their way back over to the objective, trying to clean up the remaining scraps. Rakuna trying to find the kill on their adversary, but does not get that final blow as 1040 tax form back on this objective, just cleaning up the remains. The Death Blossom from Puggo is a cherry topper as they take back the point for their own. Juven is trying to get back to the point, but there's a cage fight in the middle of the objective that Adrian is keeping everybody out of. Juven's, however, back on the point. Juzo is dead, however, so they have to try and keep themselves alive. 3-man EMP comes out from Juven, but there's nobody on the point. Rakuna's Death Blossom went to waste, and 1040 tax form at the end of the day are going to seal this point for their own.
Yeah, and just a great retake fight there for 1040 tax form. They did everything perfectly right there to win that point back and are able to take this first point right here. And I mean, at the start, they looked very strong. HIVEMIND, though, came back with their own thing here. And Bowsy, I imagine you can see what the players are saying about this, but yeah, I mean, they're the ones who are picking this. They could make the swaps anytime they could, anytime they want here, but they're still going to run out with this here. And yeah, this is a very this comp right now is a very divisive comp. I'll say that. There's a lot of people who don't like it. There's a lot of people who don't necessarily want to necessarily even watch games that have it, but I mean, if you want to win, this is the best comp to go at right now. And I mean, you're just looking for openings each way. Both of them going to be looking for Sombra get a hack, and then you have the skill orb come in, and then it's going to be the Malga trying to do a lot of damage.
Speaking of Malga doing a lot of damage, Kashi already getting a lot of damage pumped into the enemy team here on this Malga with that cardiac overdrive as well, keeping them up. Adrian trying to poke out from afar, however, as these two chain guns just constantly pumping in bullets to every single member on the side of HIVEMIND. Points now going to unlock, but so far there have been no eliminations on the field thus far, as both teams just waiting for the opportunity to engage into one another.
Yeah, like you said, they're just waiting for that opportunity, and now finally at 1040 starts to take the point, HIVEMIND engages.
Cardiac overdrive is used by both Malgas, but Adrian is the less fortunate of the two, as now they are felled by their opposition, and now 1040 tax form cleaning up the field and taking the point first.
Yeah, I mean, picking up right where they left off. They capped the point first last time, capping it here again this time. I mean, and you start looking at ultimates now. I mean, Seaborn almost got a coalescence that fight. Same thing for Proto. Petal going to be able to have an EMP very early on in this fight. But I mean, look at the tanks right now. Their ultimate charge not very high up, and that's kind of like the Achilles heel of this comp. The Malgas don't necessarily build up their ultimates really fast. It's all on the shoulders of the DPS and the supports.
Definitely, it's probably because of that poke potential that we saw Cashier go on the low ground. They were able to just constantly keep burning down from on high, and that was why they got that higher ult charge. But once it's thrown in by Proto, here comes the EMP from Petal. It lands onto 4. Adrian's already dead to the hands of their opposition, and now all the picks once again flew in the kill feed.
Yeah, and Petal throwing in that EMP there, you could argue maybe they didn't need it there, but hey, you hit it 4 people with it, you find those 4 immediately right after it. Now you really won't have anything to cancel out the cage fight that Adrian will have, and especially with Seaborn fighting Proto first. I mean, this is not necessarily the best start for 1040, but they still do have 2 ultimates.
They have to rely on Crow for those blue suit heals, and Juven goes right in, gets stomped on by the Malga, and the Death Blossom from Puggo did not help that case. And even though they didn't have their Moira, it doesn't matter for 1040 tax form, they're still steamrolling.
Yeah, Steam rolling and charging into the spawn now. I mean, you see that percentage building up to 75% here. HIVEMIND, they invested the beat into that last fight. Didn't find anything with it here, but they're coming in this next fight here with 4 ultimates. One of them being the cage fight, one of them being the EMP. That has been a good kind of combo here if you want to try to get a big kind of play off of it here. Same thing with Raccoona, that Death Blossom. I mean, we saw him pick up a couple kills with it last round. They're looking for that same thing here again.
Juven looking for the backline with the EMP, lands it onto every single member of 1040 tax form. Coalescent Juice here from Seaboard as well to keep initiating the push, and Raccoona burns down the opposition as now HIVEMIND with that 5-man EMP perfectly set up are going to take this point back for their own.
Yeah, and like I said, it's very rare that you see a 5-man EMP result in a fight loss. Juven able to hit that there, still holding on to 2 big ultimates, 1040 now. Coming up on still holding on to that cage fight, never use it, but now they're kind of rotating back into the point where they are going to have all the ultimates here, both the support, both the DPS. I mean, you could wait to combo it with Kashi here, but if you're HIVEMIND, you go fast, in my opinion. Try to get a team fight win here.
Oh, but it's going to be difficult to move fast when there's a Reaper Death Blossom waiting for you at the entrance. Raccoona lands that beautiful Blossom to get rid of Crow, but there's still 1040 tax form want to try to invest into this. They use the EMP. Here comes the Blossom from Puggo, cleaning up the field, and the Coalescence from Proto keeps everyone alive. 1040 tax form lose their Lucio, but once again, it doesn't matter. They win the fight in the end, and they're going to be taking the first map.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I thought HIVEMIND had everything set up there to just hold on to that point there for another fight at least, but 1040 just able to kind of dodge and duck out of everything there. Again, it was the Death Blossom that came up huge there. The EMP though, you even saw that came out there late from 1040. They were already down 2 members of their team, and I was thinking like, why did they invest the EMP here? But we immediately see why the Death Blossom able to find so much value off that they invest the Coalescence as well just to finish the deal there. And they come out of this first map 1-0 up on the series, and then I mean, they're looking good on this comp. Both teams have looked pretty solid on it, but 1040 has just looked a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely 1040 seems to have this composition more nailed down than their opposition. And we talked about at the beginning of the show, if you don't know this Mauga composition and you're trying to run into a team that knows it, you're going to struggle here, Dexatron, and that's just the case here for the side of HIVEMIND. Hopefully they're able to get their bearings straight here as the series goes on. Maybe the next map will favor them more, as it is Paraiso, a map that historically is not good at brawl compositions. Poke and dive typically reign supreme here on Paraiso. That being said, I have seen my fair share of Mauga on this map, so we very well could see Mauga continue to be run here, but still, we could see a shakeup from either of these teams trying to break the stakehold that Mauga has on this meta right now.
I mean, the only way we're going to see either of these teams get off of it is one team's going to have to just be the sacrificial lamb and get off it from the start and then just try to beat the other team. That's going to be this thing here. Or we're just going to see both teams continue to run it. I mean, when you have a meta comp, it's a meta comp for a reason. It's better than anything else you could kind of throw out there. I mean, you could always talk about, you know, what could you do to counter the Mauga? You know, you already have the Sombra there. You have Reaper, 2 good heroes into trying to shut him down. The support line there as well is just really good at keeping that Mauga alive. If the only thing you want to do, make the swap over to an Ana, try to get that anti-heal on it so Mauga cannot necessarily stay alive. But again, you're putting yourself at such a huge risk that Ana, it kind of just becomes a sitting duck, because if you look at the rest of the composition around this Mauga, it is a very mobile composition, almost sort of like a dive. But like you said, it's a straight brawl comp.
Yeah, definitely. It's very difficult in a sea of Mauga kitchens. In a world where Mauga's kitchen is the monopoly, we really need to be supporting small businesses right now and hoping that someone can come out with something that they are cooking that's working in the favor here as we are heading into our second map of the series, that being Paraiso here. We'll see what these two teams are planning to run out here, if they want to try to stick with this Mauga composition or if they want to go for something different. And based on what we're seeing from 1040 tax form, they are going not the Mauga.
Not the Mauga yet. I mean, it doesn't look like Kashi has came out of spawn. HIVEMIND looking like they're trying to still decide here. They're on this attack, so they have a lot more time to really make that decision. But look at what 1040 is actually coming out here with, or at least showing us. It does seem like we're going to get the Doomfist here, but a Widow and a and a Torb. I mean, a very, very interesting thing. And then you have that Ana I was talking about. I mean, this whole comp is a little bit wonky in my opinion, but if they can make it work, it will work. HIVEMIND, I mean, they're still trying to make up their minds here. Juven showing us the Widowmaker at the moment, but I feel like that will only be for a grapple shot, and then I swap off to something else here. I do like Raccoona on this Soldern. I feel like it will help out their team a little bit here. Yeah, Juven going over to the Tracer is the right move here, being able to get into that backline and just pester someone like Proto, someone like Puggo. And that will be a great pick here for HIVEMIND.
As now HIVEMIND making their way forward here with the Sigma composition, trying to take that high ground advantage. Petal looking for the crucial headshot to try and turn the tide in the favor here for the side of 1040 tax form. And now the rotation's coming in. The Doomfist of Kashi continuing to try and dive into the enemy team. But so far, it's just been a lot of pressure built on both of these teams and no real solid foundation to get that first pick.
Each team just trying to feeling each other out right now. No one wants to make the first mistake here, but Crow.
Very close to making that first mistake, just barely able to get out with their life as they skate on top of the roofs here. Kashi's still looking to try and go in for these dives, but so far has only been able to find a little bit of damage here and there. No sort of solid basis for a final blow. Raccoona falls extremely low, but has the healing from those healing Hanafudas as well as that healing aura to continue keeping them up and keeping both teams so far stabilized in this engage right now.
Yeah, we're about a minute 15 into this round here. No one's died yet. The only thing we've seen gone down are turrets. I mean, both these teams are playing very, very passive. I would expect someone like Juven to try to get into the backline.
Juven is building up to that pulse bomb, and now Kashi trying to go for this Lucio. The Suzu is there to keep Juzo alive right now on this Lucio, and they end up surviving, actually. Raccoona finds Kashi in the middle of that. They also got the kill on the Petal midway through that, and now HIVEMIND have an opportunity to continue pushing this point.
Yeah, and I mean, they get one tick here. Finding Puggo, that'll probably seal the deal here for them on this point. So, I mean, sometimes patience is what you need here. It does look like Kashi, though, has this Meteor Strike ready to go here. They do have a get-out-of-jail-free card if they feel like they need to use it.
Yeah, definitely, but already Petal is gone from the fight. Juven able to get rid of that Widowmaker threat. Now Juven's found two in this fight, getting rid of Crow as well. Kashi's just going to be running for their life. They'll get hit by a kunai on the way out, and HIVEMIND, with this poke composition, have unlocked the first point.
Yeah, and HIVEMIND, this is looking great for them right now, and they're coming up on all their ultimates. Same thing though for 1040, but I mean, HIVEMIND, they have the more deadly ultimates right here. You have really nothing on the side of 1040 that can cancel out the pulse bomb from Juven other than the beat that Crow can put down. But I don't know if you want to invest that just try to save one ultimate right here, especially when you have a Flux coming up, Kitsune Rush, and Overclock. I mean, right now HIVEMIND is looking to be in a great spot.
Yeah, HIVEMIND trying to keep themselves stabilized, however, and Adrin ends up burning here to the hands of this nano-boosted Doomfist, but Kashi is not long for this world either. They get hit by that railgun once again from Raccoona, who's starting to step up. Beautiful post-bomb stick from Juven. Their sacrifice is justified. Getting rid of Petal there with the triple blink. Nonetheless, though, 1040 tax form still watching as that cart moves through the streets of Paraiso.
Yeah, and that's one ultimate down for HIVEMIND, one ultimate down for 1040 tax form there. They did invest that nano on to Kashi in that last engagement, and they did find the one pick there, and so far, I mean, 1040 has only really found 2 picks this entire round, so they're trying to get up in that category right now, but HIVEMIND doing a good job just pushing this cart. Kashi, though, in my opinion, maybe playing a little bit too dangerous, playing a little bit too forward from the rest of their team.
As right now, the 1040 tax form DPS are currently playing a point-and-click simulator, just waiting for the right opportunity to hit some sort of head, but they aren't able to find any of those heads, even with that Infrasight from Petal invested here. HIVEMIND all in this small room. Kashi's going to be able to keep punching them out, but now here comes the ults from HIVEMIND. The Flux, the Overclock, and the Kitsune Rush all invested. So far, no kills resulted in it, as Crow answers back with their beat to negate all 3 of them. Juzo now uses their own beat to try and continue this engage, and now the Brota's out of the fight here. 1040 tax form down their main support and are now falling by the wayside.
Yeah, main support and Petal down here as well. Kashi trying to get out, and I mean, they do have this Meteor Strike again, so get out of jail free card, but looks like they're just going to fall back, and now HIVEMIND can start to push this card again. They did let it sit there dormant for a little bit, kind of stalled it out there for a moment, but that's basically been the MO for this map at the moment. Each team not wanting to make the first mistake.
It's all about being perfect right now in this meta, and if you make that mistake, it can be crucial. Kashi going for the backline, trying to focus out on Juzo on the Lucio. But right now has not been able to find anything. In fact, they find the back of the cart. They don't find the Lucio, in fact. But still, 1040 tax form trying to invest. Here comes that nano boost from Proto. This got them the win last time, and already Adrin's taken out of the fight here by this Doomfist, and that's just going to mean the cleanup duty here for 1040 tax form to hold this cart once again right by that second checkpoint.
Juven, though, in the back line is still finding a lot of value right now, but Seaborn and them will eventually fall.
Yeah, it's only inevitable for them to fall here. It's down 1040 tax form. Reset the defense. 1 minute and 30 seconds left for HIVEMIND here on their attack.
10-4 though, you've seen some swaps. Proto going over to the BAP, Pro going over to the Tracer. I like these swaps a little bit more into what HIVEMIND is running, but just the pace that these two teams have been playing with here. HIVEMIND want to be very slow, want to be very methodical in this one here. You do see 10-40, especially with Kashi on this Doomfist, you know, diving in, trying to disrupt what they want to do here right now. But if you're HIVEMIND, I mean, you need to start hitting that go button a little bit here. The slower you go means you're only taking away potentially another fight from you now as we head into the final minute of this round.
Juven's looking for this pulse bomb, knowing that it could make the difference here. As Petal's now on the Tracer, trying to contest. Already 76% to their own pulse bomb here. So Juven has to be quick before Petal's able to build up theirs and turn the tide. Here comes the Meteor Strike from Kashi right into the small room. The Immortality Field, however, is still alive, keeping everybody up within that small confines of that space. Kashi just constantly punching and hitting nothing but brick walls, but eventually they'll create a hole, and that hole is Juzo stuck in the room and back in spawn as a result.
And now, like I said, HIVEMIND just kind of playing a little bit slow there, and Kashi just able to do so much. And Petal finding the pulse bomb kill there on the Seaborn and on the Adrian. I mean, right now, 1040 has to, I mean, HIVEMIND completely has to back up here. You have one more fight, but it doesn't look like 1040 wants to give it to you.
Absolutely not. Petal is on a rampage, finding 3, looking for a 4th, gets rid of Juzo in the middle. Now HIVEMIND in a very bad situation. The only person who can realistically touch is Juven. Petal's looking for them, but it's too low health to really initiate the kill, and anybody can even touch. The answer is no. HIVEMIND not able to get to the cart in time, as the cart will stop in the streets of Parasia. 109 meters taken by HIVEMIND on their attack.
And I brought it up multiple times there. Both those teams didn't want to make the first mistakes in either fight, so they were very passive. And really, Kashi on that Doomfist was a turning point there for Taxform. I mean, you saw them dive in. You saw them take a lot of focus away from the rest of their team from HIVEMIND and just have it specifically on them, and especially with Proto going over to that BAP there towards the end. You saw it when Kashi was completely fighting the entirety of HIVEMIND in that small room after using that Meteor Strike. The Immortality Field that Proto was able to throw out there just for Kashi was the reason they were able to keep them alive and basically stop the cart where it is right there. I mean, just an overall great round there from 1040. Now HIVEMIND, I said you were being a little bit too slow there. You were basically taking fights away, and I understand that comp they were running, they weren't necessarily looking to play fast, but you need to play a little bit faster than what they were there. Now you see them go over to the defensive side here. Basically, it's going to be Adrian on that Sigma again. I mean, they looked good on the Sigma, but now you see Racuna on this Echo, Seaborn on the Illari, which is a surprise. I don't see Illari a lot here. Juju, though, I like the Baptiste pick, but now look at 1040 here. Petal on the Junkrat. We have seen some incredible Junkrat play today, which is something I never thought I would see out of an OWCS team, especially in this meta here. But, I mean, I do like the Winston dive here from them, but it's going to be looking for Proto to build up to that Nano very fast to get it onto Kashi.
Yeah, definitely. The Illari recently did get some buffs to her primary fire, so I can understand the Illari pick, plus the turret buffs that we got earlier in the season. So we'll see if HIVEMIND are able to use it to their effect, but already Seaborn's turret is brought down by Kashi, who's able to jump up to the high ground here. HIVEMIND just looking for the opportunity to push in, but it's very difficult considering there is this Junkrat, and Petal is looking for some Reddit plays. They're looking to jump up on top of the roof and try to take an advantage from that angle. Here they go, soaring up through the skies, and they find the backline, but can't land the concussive grenade. In fact, they land almost nothing. In fact, they only land a spot back in spawn, but Juven is traded, so 1040 Taxform did get something out of their work.
Yeah, but you're not going to invest into that if you're 1040 here. And look, Petal, that was for the Junkrat pick was for that play there specifically. I mean, they did everything right there to back up everyone on HIVEMIND into that back corner. Didn't find the value going over to the Tracer. Instead, I do like this pick a lot better for them. Get in there, harass someone like Juzu, someone like Seaborn, get their focus off of the rest of their team and on themselves. But Puggo
showing up, getting rid of Juzo, meaning Seaborn is the only support left here for the side of HIVEMIND. This Widowmaker starting to pop up until it is beamed to death by Racuna, but now Juven is once again out of the fight here, and Seaborn's not long for this world either. It is now 1040 Taxform, finally have broken the mold, and are starting to count as a percentage on this point.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, getting rid of Adrian right here will pretty much seal the deal. They're honestly staggering him out here, and that's a great play here for 1040 tax form. You're not going to see another contest here from HIVEMIND, because I think that's just going to stagger them out even more and give them those far spawns. But on the second point, it's not much of a loss. But tax form? Okay,
Point.
thank you.
Please.
Yeah, thank you. Please don't. I don't want to be part of another one.
As now 1040 tax form just riding the momentum from getting that point, even if it was a little bit of a step off. Kashi just pushing in with this Winston. Believe they found 3 so far. They get that primal rage kill on the Juzo, and it's just basically a steamroll at this point. 1040 tax form are just eliminating HIVEMIND before they even have a chance to set up this defense. The cart, however, is not moving. Thank you, Kashi.
And Puggo finally able to finish off Adrian right there. I mean, they have a large time bank here, 4 minutes. They're already about halfway to the final point right now. I mean, they're in a good spot, and they keep investing ultimates and finding kills like that right there from Petal.
Leave spawn door challenge impossible for the side of HIVEMIND right now, just constantly getting killed out before they're even able to leave the club at this point. Puggo's going to initiate here with that infra site just to know where the members of HIVEMIND are trying to set up. Keyword trying. Now Puggo looking for this aggressive angle. Here comes the Casino Rush from Crow. Adrian answers back with a Gravitic Flux, but they are shut out entirely. HIVEMIND stuck in the club, and they're going to be jamming a little bit for a while now as they're trying to find their way out. Puggo, however, is dead. Raccoona gets the kill, and now is duplicated over the Tracer in best Petal. But there's a cart you need to touch, HIVEMIND. And at the end of the day, you failed to do that. 1040 tax form, now at match point.
And you see people just calling it a C9 there. And yeah, it is one, and I'm a part of it again. Crap. But honestly, that all came down to 1040 tax forms, just their aggressive pressure that they were putting on the HIVEMIND there. There was really nothing that HIVEMIND could do. I mean, just everyone on that team from 1040 was doing everything so well. The Winston pick there was incredible for them. HIVEMIND didn't really seem to have a good answer to it, and then they never really swapped to a good answer either. They had definite opportunities to make a swap to something like a Reaper, something that could shut down that Winston, make it play a little bit more cautious there. But at the end of the day, I feel like it goes back to that first round. I was talking about HIVEMIND maybe being a little bit more passive, maybe a little bit more methodical with their play, want to take it slow. 1040 though, they did not want to take it slow. They wanted just to go into every fight as fast as they could, especially after capping that first point.
Yeah, 1040 might as well be the mile per hour rate of how fast they were moving in that engage, because they were constantly just on the gas. They were never letting go. They were constantly being the initiator, and they were executing first in every single engage. So definitely a rough situation there for HIVEMIND. Hopefully a halftime break will help suit them, and they'll be able to get their mind back into the game here before 1040 tax form can try to initiate this full-on 3-0 sweep. Don't go anywhere. Right after this halftime break, we have the rest. We have the next few maps of this series. You do not want to miss it. Tax season is coming up, and while the IRS is looking for your money, 1040 Tax Form are looking for your wins right now, as they are currently up 2-0 in the series against HIVEMIND, looking to try and get a 3-0 sweep, but there's an opportunity for HIVEMIND to turn this around. Bouncy here with Dexatron. We're heading into map number 3, Dex. It is New Junk City, it is Flashpoint, and we talked about it over the break. We might be seeing that Mauga composition again. Granted, our first map was entirely Mauga, Oasis, and that was a 2-0 win for 1040, but there were some glimmers of hope from the side of HIVEMIND.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, HIVEMIND, they looked great on that Mauga comp as well, but it just came down to certain fights. It always seemed like one way or another, Taxform was able to come out on top. I mean, you look at that last fight we had on Oasis, it really all came down to the fact that maybe that the cage fight came in there just a little bit too early. And yeah, you found the Mauga out for 1040 early, but you forgot about everyone else. The Somber was there, the Reaper was there, and that Moira was there. All popped their ultimates, leading to a team kill, a point flip, and a map-ending fight.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be on the side of HIVEMIND to try and correct these mistakes and put themselves in a position. It's weird, Dexatron. You talk about how on Oasis they were too early on their engages. Meanwhile, on Paraiso, it seemed like that they were too late on their engages. They were always the slow team, so they've gone too early, they've gone too late. At this point, you have to be at the center, or else you are going to be losing in a 3-0 sweep if you are HIVEMIND, which will be their second loss of the season if it happens here. So if I were HIVEMIND, I would start picking up the pace.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, at this point right now, coming into this game here, HIVEMIND and 1040 were tied with one other team at the top of the division, at this one division for that first place spot. So this will only knock them down to second place. But still, I mean, and we've talked about it, as the season goes on here, I mean, we're getting into the back half of it now. Every loss starts to just mean a little bit more here. You need to at least start taking off some maps here if you're going to lose, just so you're keeping that map differential in a lot better of a spot than some other teams that might potentially have 2 losses.
Yeah, so it's going to be crucial here, especially with those playouts coming. You probably want to be in a better seed. You don't want to be stuck on the opposite end, facing off against an opponent that you realistically do not want to face off against. For all we know, HIVEMIND could find themselves facing off against 1040 Tax Form in the playoffs if they do not start winning maps here and now. So it's all going to come down to trying to get those crucial wins under your belts, or else you're going to be stuck in a very bad situation once those end-of-season playoffs come in the not-so-distant future here, as we're waiting for the 2 teams to get into the map here. One player on the side of Tax Form is currently engaged in a conversation, but once they're done, we'll be heading into New Junk City. But assuming that these 2 teams have agreed to a gentleman's agreement to not play Mauga, Dexatron, let's say that last map was only because we saw those different compositions on Paraiso, because both of these teams said, we're not going to play Mauga, let's play something different. If you pick Mauga, then you're a terrible human being. What compositions do we theoretically, possibly, very low chance see?
I mean, right now we saw 1040 on that last map of Paraiso. They ran a Doomfist on defense, they ran a Winston on offense, and both looked really good. I mean, after they capped that first point on their attacking round there, really, there was really never a full-on team fight after that. The pressure that 1040 was able to put on HIVEMIND there kind of disrupted anything, and you just saw, you know, ultimates being thrown out there from 1040, finding a couple picks here and there, and, you know, we look back up at the card and, oh, it's at the finish line. They won the map. I mean, there was really only about half of a true fight there before that map ended. If you're 1040, stick with the dive. If you're going to play anything else, that's working for you. And for HIVEMIND, I mean, the signal looked good, but it calls you to play really, really slow. And you need to pick up the pace here a little bit, because you saw on that last map that speed does in fact kill. And Bowsy, if you think there was a little bit of a gentleman's agreement, HIVEMIND are coming out saying, we ain't gentlemen here.
Not gentlemen at all here, assuming one was formed. But 1040 Tax Form have made some swaps here. Stasis is in on DPS. Nif is in on support here, Dex. So we might be seeing some swaps here for both of these teams just in the player roster. But we also see a Reinhardt on the field.
Yeah. Ryan is certainly a tank at the moment, and going into what HIVEMIND is running, it will be a tank for a moment.
Yeah, will be interesting to see how this Reinhardt works. Right now, Cash is just shooting from a distance right now, having to constantly hold that shield button and keep themselves alive in the situation. But now HIVEMIND have a very good positional advantage, and they're starting to walk forward here with that speed boost from Juzo. But now the flashpoint is unlocked. Both of these teams just circling around the arena. They're playing a fun game of Ring Around the Rosie, but eventually Adrian is just going to catch up to the opposition until the side of 1040 Taxform just consistently keep backing up. And now they find themselves on the point and are going to get the cap first.
I mean, that's just forcing them down on this point here, but 1040 Taxform, they did have some swaps. Stasis and Nith come in at this point here. Immortality Field being invested pretty early on here for 1040.
Yeah, very early Immortality Field. Now Kashi trying to run onto the point here with this Reinhardt, trying to get any sort of value, but it's not going to be enough with those flame guns burning you to a crisp, as now HIVEMIND cleaning up the remainder of these picks. The window is invested from Proto to try and turn the tide, but it's not going to do anything except send you back to spawn.
And Kashi's sticking on the Rhine here. Like I said, Ryan is certainly a tank right now, not one of the better ones here. Proto, the only one making a swap here. I mean, honestly, it seems like they're setting up to maybe go to a little bit of a Malga comp here, but they want to try to potentially win with the Rhine. But I mean, right now, if you're HIVEMIND, you're in a really good spot since 1040 is still playing this Rhine.
Yeah, the Ryan, it seems to be the answer here, and actually a good start so far. HIVEMIND now are down their crucial DPS. Rakuna's dead to that field from Petal, and 1040 Taxform are just once again going to take control of the point, and HIVEMIND are just forced to watch as it flips over.
Yeah, I mean, HIVEMIND, they're playing very safe. They don't want to necessarily invest anything onto the point and, you know, lose out in the fight pretty early here, so they're going to re-engage back in. I mean, they have 3 ultimates right here, and, I mean, good ultimates as well.
Here comes that Shatter, however, from Kashi, shutting everything out. Juven is the first to fall, and the Coalescence from Seaborn is also canceled out. They'll sacrifice their life for it, however, as the ult coming in from Tax from 1040, trying to turn the tide, the wall, the overclock, the beat, the kitchen sink, all invested into this, and Juzo is now dead. Stasis, however, is traded, but now with the Malga falling, 1040 Taxform in a great position to take this flashpoint for their own.
EMP, though, coming out here from Juven.
Yeah, Juven hits that EMP, gets rid of Proto. Overtime is triggered, but now there's nobody else from the side of HIVEMIND left. 1040 Taxform, clean it up and take arena.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of incredible for 1040. I mean, the Rhine, not necessarily in the best spot right now, and you're going into the meta comp, and you're able to beat it. I mean, you take this first point. Yeah, you did invest a lot of ultimates. Well, HIVEMIND coming into this next fight here with ultimates of their own, I mean, they're going to be able to... I feel like HIVEMIND should be able to win this first fight here, especially with the ones that they do have. That cage fight and the Death Blossom combo is just going to be deadly.
Cage fight has been a very deadly combo, if you're alive, that is. Petal immediately gets rid of Azure before that cage fight is even able to be used, and now, once again, HIVEMIND are forced to retreat, and this Reinhardt composition that we were touting as very questionable, Dexatron, is working.
Proto?
I mean... That is a Coalescence of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. I'm surprised by it as well, because now 1040 has no ultimates going into this next engagement. But the 2 ultimates I talked about for HIVEMIND in that last engagement, never used them, never had the opportunity to.
Now Adrian looking for the push here on this Malga. Actually going to be retreating the rest of their team here. Still looking for this cage fight as Rakuna has his Death Blossom online. But I mean, look at this positioning from 1040 here, Dexatron. They're all split up. There's no real core that HIVEMIND can really push on, because 1040 Taxform are just running circles around them.
Yeah, and these 2 DPS are doing a great job at just making sure there's really no one to dive onto, and they have good opportunity and mobility to get back to the rest of their team.
Now the Coalescence juice here from Seaborn. Petal Lancers back here with this overclock, trying to get any sort of crucial picks in the favor. Uses that disruptor field to just keep everybody away. But now here comes that cage fight finally from Adrian. Answered back here with the Shatter from Kasher, who gets a lot of members on the ground, and the teleporter gets that Reinhardt out of the cage fight at the end of the day. Rakuna, however, still has his Death Blossom from on high. They come on down and slam it into every single member on the side of 1040 Taxform.
Sorry, but you did
And I mean, you needed a big play from someone on HIVEMIND right there. The cage right was not going to do it. Raccoona comes right in there with that Death Blossom, able to find two, pick up a third one as well as Adrian comes in there. But now, if you're 1040 tax form, you're coming in this next engagement with 3 ultimates, but you have to watch out for this EMP from Jubin, who, I mean, they need to land a big one right here to keep control of this point. And at this point, with how 1040 is playing, it might be the final fight on this point.
Taking the wide angle to try and bring it in. Juven is looking for this EMP, looking for the perfect opportunity to set it up, but the teleporter from Stasis is used to get the entire team over to the objective. Seaborn now uses that coalescence, answered back with Protoss, but Nif is brought out of the fight before it even begins. The Lucio now gone, your speed boost is out of the picture, and 1040 tax form might be in trouble. They're still wanting to invest into this, though. The beat, however, is responded from Juzo, as is that EMP from Juven to clean up the remainder of the field. HIVEMIND finally getting themselves in the advantage and will be taking the junkyard.
Yeah, tying up this map right here. And now you see 1040 finally get off the Rhine there. They just needed to be being to go back to the Malga here. Petal, though, going to probably stay on this soldier in here because they're very close to the overclock. And then we'll probably swap back off to the Sombra here. And now we're going to go back to what we kind of talked about here. Who will have this better composition? It was 1040 the first time around. HIVEMIND, though, they've looked good, but still, I mean, they lost to that Reinhardt there for a little bit. Now that it's even, are they necessarily going to keep this momentum?
Nif is on the high ground looking for this sound barrier as well, so 1040 tax form have to make this work to their effectiveness, as here comes HIVEMIND in that right room. We'll see what the initiation is going to be here as HIVEMIND make their way onto the objective. Here comes the overclock starting out here from Petal, trying to burn down the opposition, and HIVEMIND just completely kite away from it, keep themselves out of the line of sight and out of this fight entirely.
Yeah, I mean, you see the overclock come out right there. You're not going to necessarily go into it here, especially with yourself coming up to 3 ultimates here. Just wait for that to go away, re-engage with your ultimates of your own.
They come with the engage. Raccoona has the Step Blossom. We've seen them be able to do big things as the beat is invested here from Nif, but Adrian already brought out of the equation. Here comes the Step Blossom into the cage fight, and Raccoona finds 3 with the help of their team. Seaborn is going to get that final blow onto the Malga, as now HIVEMIND cleaning up the picks and taking the point back for their own.
Yeah, absolutely right here. And now HIVEMIND, I mean, you're in a good spot right here. You have the EMP, but 1040 could be coming back into it here.
It's going to be difficult for HIVEMIND to hold this ground, considering that some of their members are not yet back from spawn, it seems. 1040 tax form looking for the engage, but Proto caught off on a whim, just gets hacked out and hit with the virus, dies to the hands of Juzo as well. What a pick there from Juven to find that Moira before the fight even begins and shut out 1040 tax form from even being able to engage. Still trying to engage, still trying to push in his 1040 tax form, but now with not a lot of heals on the board, Cashier in a very big world of hurt, trying to keep themselves alive, will get burned down by Juven. And at the end of the day, that crucial Moira pick was the deciding factor, and HIVEMIND sent back to the spawn because of it. That's now still 1040 tax form trying to invest into this. The overclock tops here by Petal, trying to get the advantage here for the favor of 1040 tax form, but Juven finds Nif. Now you have no speed boost. 1040 tax form not in a good situation here. HIVEMIND have the ability to hold this for their own here. 1040 tax form trying to push in. They have the touch there from Stasis on this Reaper. Now the Coalescence is invested here from Proto to get themselves onto the objective. EMP, however, is thrown in by Juven. It lands onto 3. Proto is the first one dead, as now the cage fight is used by Cashier, trying to turn the tide. Overtime is triggered. Raccoona is able to get the best of it. Reaper adversaries, but it's still a back and forth affair. Raccoona now trying to win this fight in a single effort, but Petal is on the field, and they've turned this around with this Sojourn and are bringing this back for the side of 1040 tax form. Now, HIVEMIND, not the greatest situation here. They have both support ults to their name, but they have to try and re-engage. Juven is going to be the last one in this fight. 1040 tax form going to be able to try and continue this hold with no ultimates to their name. HIVEMIND taking this wide rotation. Seaborn looking for this coalescence that they're going to be engaging here. The beat as well invested from Juzo to initiate the engage. Seaborn trying to continue burning down the members. They're looking for Stasis on this Reaper or any sort of targets for that matter. Cardiac overdrive from Adrian keeps them alive right now as overtime is triggered. Here comes the cage fight from Adrian. Lands onto the opposing Malga. Nif throws themselves in to try and keep the Malga alive, but it's not enough compared to the Death Blossom from Raccoona, burning down that Malga to shreds. And now HIVEMIND finding all the picks that they need, and they're going to be able to take the refinery and are now at Flashpoint map point. So now HIVEMIND in the advantage as the next Flashpoint is bomb flats here. HIVEMIND making their way forward with basically no ultimates to their own, and 1040 Tax Form are making the swap over to the Somber here. Petal going over to that crucial hero that got them the advantage to start off on that first map. So we'll see if it makes the difference here. 1040 Tax Form already see the low damage, low health that Adren has. They're barely able to get out with their lives courtesy of that rush, but now Seaborn is hacked. They can't use those orbs, and now Adren's out of the picture entirely. Stasis getting the final blow there as 1040 Tax Form now take this cap for their own, and HIVEMIND are forced to reset.
Yeah, HIVEMIND is going to have to back out this one completely right now. The reset here is good for them. They have this 1 point to give here, but at this point, 1040 might start to get a little bit desperate. They are coming up on a lot of ultimates. HIVEMIND, though, has the same thing here. Juven, the EMPs have been so clutch for them lately.
We'll see what Juven's EMPs are able to do here. HIVEMIND looking for the engage. Here comes the Coalescence from Seaborn. And there's a 5-man EMP from Juven. It cancels out the Coalescence and the Death Blossom from Stasis and Proto. And all the kills are red in the kill feed as a result.
And like I said, those EMPs have come up in the clutch for them in the past, and now they do here. Only having to invest 2 ultimates in that fight there is huge, especially when you see 1040 investing 2 of their own, the Coalescence and the Death Blossom here.
So now HIVEMIND in a very good situation, starting to count up the percentage. 1040 Tax Form have to make this engage work as they come in with the push. The cage fight is initiated, and Rakuna is already hacked out. They can't use the raid form to keep themselves alive within the cage, and that's enough. The cage is immediately set down, and 1040 Tax Form take the point back.
Yeah, that's a great use of the cage there, but now, I mean, you're going to have a beat here, you're going to have the EMP, same thing, though, for HIVEMIND, but no EMP, it will be the Death Blossom, and Adrian going to be not able to escape there. That's huge.
That is very big, and now 1040 Tax Form take that as a go button. They are running at 500 miles an hour right down the stretch, trying to turn it around. Rakuna and Juzo used their ults, but now the EMP from Petal is used to just keep everybody away from the side of HIVEMIND. Adren is back in the fight, but their support is removed, and now HIVEMIND are starting to stagger when it matters most, and bomb flats are going to go the way of 1040 Tax Form once they're able to deal with the stragglers here. Adren just trying to keep themselves alive. Juven is currently on the point, trying to continue this overtime wick burning, but it's not going to be for long. All the members of HIVEMIND are dead, and 1040 Tax Form are bringing us to one final flashpoint at the Ducks.
And honestly, this next fight here is going to be a pretty even fight. You're going to have 3 ultimates for each side, and I mean, Stasis having that Death Blossom might be the difference maker here, but if Juven can hit another 5-man EMP, I mean, that's the fight dead and gone right there. It doesn't matter what 1040 throws into it here, but I mean, an early pick before a fight breaks out, someone just kind of lurking around, like kind of Petal, like kind of Juven, finding an early pick would be the exact thing they need.
Cage fight from Adren is used, is responding in kind with the Blossom from Stasis. Now both Coalescence used from either side, and it's a 4-man EMP from Juven. The only one not caught is Petal, but it doesn't matter. All the kills are red, and HIVEMIND are back in this game.
And again, Juven and these EMPs have just been so consistent throughout this series here that honestly they have kind of made this map for HIVEMIND here. It would be a shame if they are to drop it right now. 1040, they invested all their ultimates in that fight there, found no value out of them. Yeah, HIVEMIND did the same thing, but they found all the value here. But in these dry fight scenarios, we've seen 1040 come out on top more than not here. However, Rakuna, so close to that Death Blossom. I mean, we've seen them pop off with those in the past.
Rakuna has been able to get a lot of value with those Death Blossoms. They're looking for it now. Proto trying to keep the rest of the team alive on this Moira. That juicing of the heals just constantly dipping way below its normal value. HIVEMIND looking to just continue the poking phase, try to force this into one more fight as here comes that Death Blossom from Rakuna. It's canceled out by EMP, but Stasis is already removed. Now both Lucio beats are used in tandem here as HIVEMIND trying to continue this advantage for their own, and they've got rid of Kashir. Now all the picks going in favor for HIVEMIND as 1040 Tax Form are going to be forced to go for one more touch in last fight territory.
Yeah, absolutely here, and I mean, they're going to need to make some swaps here, honestly, because Petal nowhere around to get that touch. You do see Proto, Petal making that swap over to the Tracer.
But they can't touch! Proto couldn't touch in time! The Reaper teleport wasn't there! And HIVEMIND take New Junk City and are back in this engage. We have a fight on our hands, Dexatron.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, we were talking about it in the break there. Kind of thought 1040, they were going to finish the series out here and now, and yeah, you see them talking about they played Orion. Yeah, they won the 1 point they played Ryan and they got off it, and then it was HIVEMIND. I mean, if you come out on that Malga from the start, maybe it's a little bit different here, that entire map, but I mean, they looked good on the Ryan. They were able to win that first point. I think HIVEMIND, though, they kind of took a little bit of offense to that, and I think that gave them a little bit of motivation, and you saw them play a little bit differently. And Juven, I mean, you can't talk enough about them. The EMPs came in clutch every time.
Yeah, Juven was the difference maker there. We're going to be jumping over to a quick break real quick for a production reason. When we come back, we'll be back with our 4th map in the series. New Junk City is on the docket. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody, from that short break. I'm now joined here by Headrammer. Dexatron unfortunately had some personal business to attend to, so we're keeping them in our minds and in our well wishes here as we're heading into map number 4 here. Headrammer, New Junk City is on the docket for these two teams. HIVEMIND just won their first map of the series here and are trying to initiate that reverse sweep. Yeah,
it seems like they're finally finding what's like working for them in these comps, because I mean, honestly, the Sombra play, Juven has been really, really good. Every single fight the EMP they win, and it seems like, I mean, HIVEMIND's always kind of been one of those teams that is like, they really favor kind of the rush style comps, and now they're actually like playing these Malga comps. We saw it on first map. They looked really, really strong on it, and just a few minor changes, and they probably would have won a lot of the points on first map. And it seems like they fixed up a lot of those things here.
Yeah, definitely. There is potential here for HIVEMIND to turn this ship around after what looked like a very shaky map 1 on the Malga competition. They came into New Junk City looking revitalized. Yes, 1040 tax form were playing on Reinhardt, but they still were able to take a 3-2 scoreline in their favor here. And now we head over to New Queen Street, and it's much of the same we've been seeing here. Remember, both teams are opting to go over to this Malga competition, so it's once again going to be a matter of which team can perform to the peak that they need to perform at.
Yeah, and I'm kind of the opinion, honestly, that New Queen Street is a pretty similar map in terms of style to New Junk City. So, I mean, we saw how strong HIVEMIND was in the last map, so I could be a little concerned if I was Taxform.
We'll see what these two teams are willing to pull out here as we see them approaching toward the streets here of New Junk City. And we'll see what strategies they want to go for here as well. They want to try to take this high ground, it seems here, Headrammer, which just provides a lot more availability for the other team to see it.
Oh.
And we have a pause.
We do have a pause.
That was an early pause. HIVEMIND calling that pause basically in the second it happened here. Someone obviously must have disconnected just when the pause was called here by Racuna. So I'm hoping it was not the Moira in that case, because if it was the Moira, that's not a good look for the Malga, because we saw that Malga dropping extremely low on the first-person camera. So my assumption is it probably was one of the healers.
Yeah, but looks like we are unpausing here, so getting ready back in. Doesn't look like anybody DC'd. So it must have just been high ping, but that could have been very bad.
Yeah, definitely is. Now 1040 tax form taking the advantage in this fight. HIVEMIND had completely retreated from this engage. They brought themselves all the way back to try and stabilize and wait for this next engage. As 1040 tax form will get this spot first.
They do, and these early fights are pretty important overall. Oh, but yes, it's getting so low.
Yeah, very low, but still they're able to get the better of Azure with the help of Stasis on this Reaper, but they do sacrifice their life for it. Racuna able to get that final blow on their adversary on the Reaper, but now Tashir dropping extremely low. They'll eventually die to this Reaper as well. So 1040 tax form, they've gotten the bot push first, but they still want to try to invest into this. The EMP from Pedal lands on the 3 and killed out Juven, but now the supports are basically just duking it out, but there's one Reaper in the mid of it, and Seasons don't fear the Reaper, neither does HIVEMIND.
No, that fight is wild. Usually when your Malga goes down first, you know, fight's over, done with, but Racuna getting, what was it, like 4 picks in there, it felt like? It's just wild.
I'm pretty sure that was like 3 or 4 picks that Racuna got. And you know, 1040 tax form are trying to keep this in their favor. They stopped the bot before it went over the yellow line, but still now that bot's moving, and 1040 tax form have to set up.
And now they have the EMP going in this next fight too. Pedal used the EMP in the last fight, and the fight was already lost. I mean, they could be getting capped too after this.
HIVEMIND are in a very good situation, but they are giving up bot progress, and Juzo is caught on the wrong end of the spectrum. EMP comes out, lands on the 4. Now here comes the Death Blossom for Racuna in tandem, just burning down Kashir, but now the beat and the coalescence used from 1040, and Stasis' Death Blossom gets rid of Juven as well, and 1040 tax form able to invest those ultimates that they had and turn it around. Somehow, this has been a wacky New Queen Street.
Yeah, currently I'm learning is if you ult, you lose. At least if you ult, you lose first. Take everything I said about last fight, reverse it, and now it's the same thing for Tax4. Tax4 now has their EMP up and their cage, but maybe the support ults from HIVEMIND will give them up anyways.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the EMP seems to be the deciding factor. If you use EMP, you lose. So let's see what happens when Pedal uses theirs here. Getting fight used here by Kashir, but they're immediately burned down. It's a 5-man EMP from Pedal, but now you're down your Malga. The enemy team is down theirs, however, and the beat from Juzo is not there in time to save Racuna. So it seems like finally we have a fight where the EMP got a victory for the team.
Oh wait, don't curse it yet. Don't curse it yet.
Well, I'm not going to curse it. Stace is out of the fight. The checkpoint is capped, however, so 1040 Tax Form have those forward spawns to their name, but Seaborn looking for the kills here with this Moira as Adrian is back in the fight, and 1040 Tax Form are forced to give up the spot. Now Pedal's out of the picture as well.
Okay, yeah, they did get the cap though, so that's incredibly good. Yeah, that beat just came in just slightly too late. If it caught the Reaper, I think they had a chance to bring that fight back.
So now HIVEMIND continuing to push the spot. 1040 Tax Form hiding in the coffee shop, which is a very dirty angle to hold in. Your team, the enemy team, basically has to come up to you if they want that bot to move here. Juven sitting by the bot, looking for the perfect hack target. Stasis forced to use that Ray Farm early, and the beat invested from Nif as well. Now both coalescence used here from both teams, but here comes the EMP. It's a 4-man EMP coming out from Juven. The only person not caught was Proto with that coalescence, but now the Blossom from Stasis burns down the Mauga, and now without the tank and the Reaper until HIVEMIND are forced to succeed once again.
Yeah, I was initially pretty concerned about the double support alt engagement, but I don't know. I didn't quite see it. Did the EMP catch the coalescence?
It did not.
Okay, that explains it. I was wondering because I thought, I'm like, how are these? I like look at the EMP, everyone's health still full. I'm like, I don't get it.
This doesn't make sense. It's a hack target that turns off all your abilities. How is everyone still alive?
I know.
It's a weird conundrum indeed. Nonetheless, 1040 Tax Form able to break the equation. Probably have to go back to the map lab for some of those. As Adrian currently trying to burn down this Mauga, but is getting burnt down themselves. Not enough healing to keep them alive. And now 1040 Tax Form continuing to steamroll this aggression. Kashir coming up on top with 2 kills in this fight and keeping 1040 Tax Form in the momentum.
Yeah, Tax Form coming to this map offended the HIVEMIND did not take the Rhine Mirror at the start, and like, no, like, so we're going to show you how to properly play this comp.
Oh, but now 1040 Tax Form are down there. Moira Adrian gets that early kill thanks in parts to the hack from Juven, and now Tax Form forced to retreat. They're forced to give up progress, and the bot now goes in favor of HIVEMIND.
Yeah, it really seems like this win. The biggest thing that Tax Form is doing for themselves right now is just these alt fights. These alt fights are continuously coming out on top, and especially when they're sitting in that that window, that dirty spot. See, they're there right now. They're in the window right now.
Yeah, and Paddle's waiting for the EMP in that viaduct too, so we'll see if HIVEMIND is going to be able to sustain through this. Still just constantly poking at 1040 Tax Form, holding within that coffee shop. Pedal notices Juzo on the high ground. Juzo doesn't know. They're hacked out starting, but Pedal isn't able to get the final blow, but that does force the rest of the team to look back. Racuna goes in for the Death Blossom. Doesn't get anything with him, but now the EMP from Juven lands on the 5, but it doesn't matter. The Reaper's gone. Pedal is back with their own EMP, silencing Adrian's cage fight, and it's once again 1040 Tax Form in the advantage.
So many ults came out from HIVEMIND there. EMP, Reaper, Cage, and just one EMP shuts it all down.
So now, 1040 Tax Form trying to find the advantage in their own here. Just constantly trying to keep this advantage in their own. 4 minutes on the clock. HIVEMIND have to try and find an answer here, but they don't have anything to work with here, Headrammer.
I know, the best you're going to be able to hope is these coalescence and beat drop and do it, but we get an early coal engage from Tax Form.
Proto immediately pushing forward with this coalescence, looking for any sort of kills. It's going to force out the beat from Juzo to start. His cage fight is also initiated, but Stasis has this Death Blossom, and they burn down 2. Make that 3 with the help of Kashir to get rid of Racuna, and it's still 1040 Tax Form rolling over here and approaching that final stretch that they need to finish out the map.
Yeah, already pushing out over 100 meters here. Now, Tax Form has emptied their ult bank, but this is HIVEMIND isn't really at any ultimates either. Both Sombra is at pretty close to the same amount of EMP, but here, Tax Form, you don't really need to do anything. You have a 100+ meter lead.
Tax Form continuing to put this aggression on, however. The cardiac overdrive used by both Maugas. Racuna on the side angle, looking for anything to try and turn the tide. Juven is close up to this EMP as well, so HIVEMIND have an opportunity to try and push this, but it's going to be very difficult because right now they're just poking, waiting for the potential. Pedal from afar is waiting for the perfect opportunity to just unleash this EMP and turn the tide, but now Racuna's already brought out. EMP comes in, lands on the 2. Adrian and Juzo are caught out. Juven answers back with their own EMP, but they are in the grave, as are the rest of HIVEMIND, and no auditors are needed. 1040 Tax Form complete the win, 3-1 over HIVEMIND.
Yeah, that last map was absolute domination from 1040 Tax Form. There's no doubt that I mean, okay, maybe I had a little bit too much hype going from last map for HIVEMIND, but Tax Form show they clearly understand how to play this comp.
Yeah, Definitely. Tax Form have mastered this Malga composition, and HIVEMIND were just caught on the wrong end of the spectrum. So at the end of the day, it just wasn't meant to be for them. But a very solid effort for HIVEMIND. They did take a map in this series, which is one more map than any other team who has faced 1040 Tax Form, or at least has lost to 1040 Tax Form, can say this season here. Minus if you were in the mid-season bracket. Nonetheless, still a really strong performance from HIVEMIND, and they're proving that with time, they could still be a contender for the top here, Headrammer.
Yeah, I think it really shows, like, if you're HIVEMIND, I don't think you really should be super disappointed about this series. I mean, 1040 Tax Form is an incredibly strong team, and you guys didn't play bad. I mean, all these maps were fairly close overall, and a few minor changes, and you probably could have been on top yourself. Especially with how fast this meta has been changing. We you know, Malga's in the meta, out of the meta. Suddenly Sombra's in it. Reaper now seems to be played, but we've seen other teams playing some of the Sims, some of the Sojourn, and the meta's been a little over the place right now, trying to figure out what the best option is. And I think HIVEMIND is able to figure that out and kind of find what best suits them.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a matter of just trying to figure out in this world of parity, figure out what composition works best, and hopefully these two teams are able to find exactly it here. But that is it for our matchup here, Headrammer. A very, very great matchup overall. Last map was a bit of a steamroll, but that does not show the rest of the series. It was pretty close between HIVEMIND and 1040 Tax Form, if you ignore Paratio and New Queen Street. Half of the series was close. The other one was sort of a steamroll.
Yeah, I think these comps can also be fairly steamrolling themselves. I mean, these ults build so quickly. And, you know, if you start running over a team and you only use one ult and you use like 3, it's going to take a little while till they come back online. So you're probably going to lose a fight or 2.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see what these two teams are going to be capable of for the rest of the CGL regular season. But that's going to do it for us here today. For my wonderful sub-co-caster, Headrammer, who is also our producer, and the co-caster who was with us earlier today, Dexatron. By the way, our thoughts are with them right now as they are currently tending to a personal issue. But nonetheless, thank you, Dexatron, for coming on board, as well as Headrammer for producing, as well as our amazing observers, Beamgarten and Mara and Little Joe on the observing table. For all of them and everybody else in the CGL community, my name has been Bowsy. Until we meet again, we hope you have an amazing night.
Bye.